this little video is to show how to put together the make my own pencil holder kit. This is sort of nice. This is something that's great for putting on a journal, notebook, and it's like you just want to keep your pencil with it instead of having to always scramble where the pencil is. And sometimes if you use these guys, like on a mechanical pencil or a pen, the little clips break off. So anyway, so this kit, and all we've done is we've sewn together some elastic and a zipper. The main stitch we're using is the back stitch because it's secure. And so the kit comes with a piece of elastic. This is long enough to fit around an 8.5 by 11 notebook, so it's just fine for that. And if you have a smaller journal, for example, something of this size, then we need to cut it shorter. And we have a piece of felt and the zipper. So the first thing we need to do is we get our thread. And for this, I'm going to use 2 strands instead of just a knot on one end of the thread. I'm going to put both of the thread legs together, wet my little finger, make sure your fingers are clean, loop it around my finger, the index finger, and then my thumb. We're sort of rolling it off of the finger. It twists the threads around in that loop, pull, and you've got a nice knot. There we go. Sometimes you might have to do it another time. My tail's a little long. I'll cut that off. All right. So your first piece of elastic, or the first end, 1/2 inch folded under, and what we're going to do is that edge, the raw edge of the elastic, goes against the felt 1/2 inch, and this is how we're going to sew it. We want that long piece of elastic coming off of the felt. We're going to tuck our knot here underneath between the 2 pieces of elastic, that way just sort of out of the way. And once again, we're doing the back stitch. We're going to come down behind it, and it looks like we end up doing about 3 stitches per side. I end up sewing a box here. You could do an X, but I'm sort of sewing it in a little box going around, a little square. See, and there's 3 stitches. And the thing with sewing through elastic is sometimes it'll grab your thread funny, and one piece of thread will sort of get snagged and stick out, make a loop. So sometimes you just have to pull on it, make sure all the threads, both of them, staying together. There we are. We're coming around. Yep, let's make sure we aren't coming off of the felt in the back. Always sort of look, and you can see with the back stitch it sort of looks like a straight line in the back because the threads overlap each other. In the front you're just seeing these little short stitches. But there we have, we're coming to the corner. Oopsie, I got a little too close. There we are. See, so it's coming out to be about 3 stitches. Oopsie, there it sort of grabbed. Got myself a little wonky here. Oh, and that happens. You know, see, one piece of thread there, one loop is longer than the other. Just sort of have to work with it, get them even again, make sure there's no loop in the back. Things happen. Here we go. Get a nice stitch. You just want to make sure this elastic is being held on and doesn't accidentally snap and hurt yourself. All right, there we have it. It's a funky little square. We're gonna knot it here in the back. Once again, you just take a little piece of material, don't have to go all the way through. There's the loop, you knot it. There we go. So we got 1 piece of elastic secure. Excellent. Now, how much do we need? Like I said, this length will work perfect for an 8.5 by 11 notebook. But let's say you've got a smaller journal, or it's the 8.5 side. So even a little notebook like this size, it'll work. And the whole point is you want this elastic to be snug. So sort of snug it up a little and then see what do you need so it stays snug. And remember, you want 1 inch from the edge of the felt up, because that's what you're going to cut then. So a 1/2 inch gets folded under. So you can cut that length. You still have enough to sew, and it's going to go around your notebook just fine and be secure. Alrighty, but this one I'm going to leave now for the size of the big notebook, 8.5 by 11, so I don't have to cut anything. So what we're going to do is you come around the back side with your elastic, you're folding 1/2 inch just like we did on top, and there's that raw edge with your raw edge of the felt, and then we're going to do that same stitching all the way around. Make a little box. Alright, so we've got the elastic stitched down on both. It sort of looks like a box. We've got it folded over. Here we are on both sides. It's pretty secure. It's not going to go anywhere. So now we're ready to put our zipper down. This is what's going to be the holder for our pen or our pencil. So it's sort of fun. You can do different colors. So once again, we're using a double strand. We're putting a knot on the end, and this is a good length. If you start getting too long of a thread, what happens is it gets tangled, and then that's no fun either. So you can just sort of space it how you'd like. I don't know, maybe I'll make it a little higher. I'm going to come from the underside of the zipper with my knot just so it gets tucked away. And there's my threads not being cooperative. There we go. So once again, we're going to do the back stitch, and we're going to sew around. What we're going to do is, you can see on this one, is we're sewing across just to sort of keep that opening closed, and then we come up the side and we stop, and then we start again over here. So you know, I've done, this was a back stitch. You can see, and you can see where my I started there, and I didn't have enough thread, so that's the way it goes sometimes. So you sort of don't want to have too short of a thread, but you don't want it too long either, because then it'll go ahead and tangle up, and that's frustrating, and we don't want frustration. We want happiness, mellow. So here we are. As I said, we're doing the little back stitch, sort of close to the edge. Sometimes on some of these zipper tapes, they've got different types of how it was woven, and you can follow some of those lines. And then we're going to do a little angle coming across. Now where the zipper teeth or the coil is, it's real hard to try to get all the way through it. So all you can do is like get right next to it, and then you're going to have to take a long stitch to the other side of the zipper, and I'll show you what it looks like in the back. See how I've got that long stitch there, and that's okay, that's all right. The whole point is it's gonna, you know, just sort of shut that down and close it off a little bit for you. And so here we are, we're just gonna sew away, doing the back stitch. Once you get more comfortable, you can start doing it like this, where you take a little stitch, you come ahead, pull it snug, go behind, come ahead. Yeah, and there you are. We're gonna cruise along until you get to the top of the zipper. Okay, here we are. We're getting to the end of the zipper tape. Oopsie. And I'm just gonna go a little farther. My thread's getting a little short, so good thing I'm getting towards the end here. Alrighty, and then I'll knot it off on the back side. Take a little piece of fabric. Yep, it's getting short, isn't it? Go through the loop, do another one. Oops. Alright, there we go. We can cut that off. So, yeah, not much thread left. That was a little close, wasn't it? Alrighty. So let's start on the other side. Once again, oh, I don't know, eyeballing it, it's like maybe 14 inches of thread. Actually, it's more than that. It's 14 double, 28 inches, because we're using a double strand. Here we go. And let's start with our other side. I'm going to tuck this underneath the zipper, my little knot. Once again, we're doing the back stitch. And here we go. We're going to march right on down this side, heading home, so to speak. Alrighty. Here we are at the end. We'll knot it off. I'm going to take a little stab of material. Alrighty. Oh man, here we are, another cool pencil holder. I just love these things. It's so cool. Here we are. All right, I am set to go. I hope you have a lot of fun. Try this out. And these kits are available at linesofdesigns.com.